What up, everybody? Welcome to another episode with your boy Theo Pinson and my boy AJ Richardson. And today, we got a very special guest. We got that boy Boogie here today. For people who don't know, DeMarcus Cousins, certified bucket, one of the best bigs to play the game. And he here, we're on Run Your Race. But first, y'all go to DraftKings right now, download the app, and use promo code RACE. Now let's get to the episode. What up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Rain Race with my boy AJ Richardson, who's not here today because we in the Rico, Puerto Rico. We ain't talking about Rico cases, okay? But we got a very special guest here today. We got a walking double-double, walking 25 and 10, easy. With my fellow Tidal League brethren. Y'all might know it for bullies get bullied. But we got Kentucky great. We got the walking, like I told you before. Y'all, there's not much need to be said. We got Boogie here today, DeMarcus Cousins.
So what's up, man?
First of all, I appreciate you getting on. It's been something I know a lot of people gonna tune into and want to hear your story, your journey. I think this is just another way for people to hear you have been at the top. You have done what everybody has wanted to do. And to have that and to give back to people so they can hear it ain't the easiest road. No. Everybody can look at DeMarcus Cousins and be like, what he got everything in the world. You don't know what athletes go through. Right. From all-star to Olympian to NBA finals to all that shit. You could tell, like, I love this because you could tell your part and they understand, oh shit, DeMarcus is a regular dude just like everybody else. And that's what we always try to say. Right. Like, listen, bro, you gonna talk to us crazy while we on the floor, but when you see us, right, you're not gonna do that. But we just regular people. But let's get to your story, man. Let's talk about it. DeMarcus, where you from and how'd you get started hooping?
Man, originally I was born in Mobile, Alabama. Raised Birmingham, Alabama. I'm best of both worlds. I claim both. How did I start? I started off playing football.
What position?
I didn't play. I had dreams of, being an NFL star one day. I don't know how I was getting in. I love football in the beginning, and reality hit me at an early age and let me know, one, I was too tall for the sport.
Facts. They going for knees.
And I started off in the Pee Wee leagues like, mostly everybody. And it was always a struggle for me because I was a young kid and I always had to play up because of my height and my size. So I would play up with a lot of the older kids and I couldn't match up with the physicality. Yeah. Obviously I had the weight on me because of my height. So it would be, I can remember one day specifically where you remember the back in the days of, cutting weight. You put that trash bag on and you just hit the field and run. Yeah. So
I was skinny as shit, so I have to do that.
And that was my thing. Yes. I was skinny as shit.
Really?
I was skinny as shit. But like I said, I was tall, so I had the weight.
Facts.
So it was at the time I was playing 125, and I believe I was in the fourth grade. Fourth or fifth grade, something like that. So I just remember the coach saying, yeah, you got to cut weight. And it was always it was always where I was having to cut 1 or 2 pounds. And I'm just like, dude, this isn't working. like,
and what is 1 or 2 pounds going to do?
That's how it was. Yeah. But, it started to not make sense for me. And, my mom, she's obviously my biggest supporter. And she's just like, yo, this isn't working. So it was a small period in my life going into middle school, and we all know, like, as a young man, that's kind of when life starts for most young men. Yep. You start starting to figure life out. And it was just this period in my life where I wasn't doing shit. I was getting in trouble. I was being influenced by all the wrong things. It's a product of my environment. All of these different things, and it just got to a point where I'm like, I need to do something. Yeah. But the opportunity kind of came by surprise, and I was, One day I so happened to be skipping class.
Yep.
and it was this guy by the name of Gary Williams. He was a AAU recruiter. And he was actually there. And at this time, I was in the 7th grade.
Yep.
And he was actually there recruiting high school players. So at this time, I might have been I was about 6'4", maybe. And like I said, I'm skipping class, and he sees me. He's like, "Oh, you know, how tall are you? Yada yada yada." You know, I'm like, I'm 6'4", whatever. He was like, "Man, and then he was like, "How old are you?" I'm like, I told him my age, and he was just, you know, he was in awe.
6'4" in middle school.
He was expecting me to be, you know, a high schooler.
Yep.
So he, you know, he was in awe. His jaw dropped, and you know, the conversation started there. Like, I need you at a practice this afternoon.
Yeah.
Like, so I ended up sending him my mom's number, and he contacted my mom, and you know, that's kind of the start of it. So you know, I got home that day, and my mom was like, "Yeah, I talked to the guy Gary, and you know, he's interested in you playing, you know, travel basketball." I wasn't.
Didn't know nothing about it.
I knew nothing about it.
Yep.
I'm like, travel basketball, like, what is that? So she kind of explained it to me, and I'm just like, you know, the way I grew up, I wasn't really comfortable with, you know, strangers, or you know, I grew up with a lot of trust issues, just rough.
Yep.
And you know, my mom pushed me. She was like, you know, I think you should you know, give it a try. You're not doing much with your life right now. You're getting in a lot of trouble, so I think this would be good for you.
Yep.
And you know, I took that chance. I took the chance. I went to the practice. The rest was kind of history. So,
let me ask you this. Alabama football state.
Right.
Product of environment. Do you feel pressure having to play football? Did you feel that pressure, or you didn't really go, you didn't really feel that?
It wasn't even a pressure thing. It's almost like
by default. It's just what you do.
Yeah, it's just by default.
Facts.
Everybody in Alabama at some point in their life plays football.
Yes, right? Facts.
So it wasn't about pressure or anything. I mean, I grew up a football fan. Like,
yeah,
it's a football. Everybody plays football. So it was, like I said, it was just by default. And you know, in that moment, or in those moments, you know, I eventually found out this just wasn't for me.
It wasn't shit.
Obviously fine now that we can look back on it. But in that moment as a kid, it definitely sucked that,
for sure,
you know, I couldn't.
And you've been doing it.
Exactly. So
what was it like? Was there a certain situation, and like, you don't got to get the script, or you don't got to tell us at all, was there a situation that happened to you personally that was like, all right, I need to lock the fuck in, I'm gonna go down the wrong path? Or you he like, shit.
Man, I had plenty of those situations. Man, I had so many of those situations. And you know, it finally got to a point to where, you know what I'm saying, I started to realize, like, I can't keep gambling. Like, and, you know, I'm seeing my peers, and I had a few friends go to jail early while we were still in high school, things like that. And it was just a lot of things happening around me that, you know, and personally to me, that just, you know, it put me in the mindset of like, I got to change something, or I'm going to end up being, you know, and I was always a pure-hearted person. I always moved with the, you know, the right intentions. But when you're amongst ignorance all your life, you think it's a normal thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So for me, it was just like, I don't want to fall in this category. I don't want to be another statistic. I don't want to. And, you know, like I said earlier, my mom was my biggest supporter, so she was always that person being in my ear, talking. And, you know, I grew up basically fatherless, and I didn't have that role model, or even that person to, you know, whip me into shape, or show me the right path, or like, it's done this way, young fella. So, you know, luckily I did go through those lessons, because it did bring me to that crossroad of like, man, what are you gonna do? What's your next step?
Yeah.
Or you just gonna be another motherfucker out here doing nothing. And on top of that, the reason it was so odd for me, because, you know, most guys can blend in. You know,
you 6'5".
I'm above average in middle school. Like, so it was different for me. And by my freshman year of high school, I was the height I am now. I was a 6'10" freshman.
Damn.
So it was really abnormal. So just a lot of different circumstances. And
so we've heard this multiple times on the pod, like the community kind of rallied around you because they can see you.
I wouldn't even say the community, because like I said, the ignorance that was, happening around me, it was the norm.
Gotcha.
Like, where I'm from, a box Chevy on sixes is considered successful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and if that's considered dreaming big, then that kind of puts
show
things
everybody
into
what a box
perspective.
Chevy on sixes is, so we can get a visual on that.
That kind of puts things into perspective
for
you.
sure.
Like, that's the sign of success.
Yeah.
So, I'm glad I went through every lesson I did. It helped me. It molded me. It helped separate me, and it helped just shape my mind into one bigger and better for myself.
For sure. What was so you didn't hoop at all?
I mean, I would hoop.
You played here and there.
I didn't hoop organized basketball.
Got you.
For a ball club and things like that until I started.
And what grade was that?
My first basketball team was AAU.
Really?
Yeah. So
damn. What grade was that?
7th grade.
7th grade, first basketball, first organized basketball.
7th grade.
So you just going out there fucking around?
For the most part, yeah. But who
you play with?
It was a team called the Birmingham Raptors.
Okay.
But the thing was, when I did start the journey of playing basketball, it started coming
easy
like this for me. I was picking up on the game very quickly. A lot of things were kind of just natural for me.
Yeah.
I guess I can somewhat credit football as far as, having some sort of coordination, having some type of athleticism to follow behind all the height and everything that came with that. And, like I said, I picked up the game pretty quickly. The game was kind of natural for me, and eventually I just kind of took off.
When do you feel like the moment was for you where you was like, oh yeah, ain't nobody fucking with me?
That moment came for me. My freshman year. By my freshman year of high school, I was a starting center on varsity.
Yep.
And my first game was against a guy from that 7th grade year to my 9th grade year. That 2-year span, I picked up a lot. I became a fan of the game. I started looking for, like, who do I want to be? Like, who can inspire me in this game? Who am I similar to?
Who was that for you that you like? Because for me,
it didn't start off professional for me because I didn't know pros.
Oh, same. I mean, like, my dad had told me about Magic Johnson and shit like that.
Right.
And you'll see Kobe on TV. But, like, for me, and I've said this before multiple times, when I saw John Wall in person,
right,
I said, oh, I need to get to that motherfucker because he the real deal.
Right.
Who was that for you?
Rest in peace. It was a guy named Stanley Robinson. We call him Sticks. He went to UConn.
Okay.
That was my superhero.
Yeah.
Like, I thought he was the most amazing thing to ever touch a basketball court. Yeah. He was 6'9", could dribble the basketball, could shoot it, 40-inch vertical. Like, he was a freak of nature. And he also played for the older group of our AAU program.
Okay.
So when we would go on these AAU trips and the older groups would be there, I would just be this kid in awe. Like, I damn near just wanted to carry his backpack.
Yeah.
Sticks, you need some water?
Yes.
Like, that's how amazing this guy was to me. And
he just cold.
It was incredible to see. But that he was my first inspiration when it came to the game. And like I said, once I got to that freshman year, he was my first varsity game. So it kind of happened full circle for me.
Yeah.
So
now you can't be that fan no more.
I'm not a fan of, now I'm scared shitless. I'm like, oh, this is his senior year, this is my freshman year. So
oh yeah,
I'm kind of, and it was also a time to where I went to a public school, Sticks went to a city school. So this was like the first time we kind of
intertwined
the league.
Gotcha.
So everything was weird. And, you know, that night of, I just remember not being able to sleep. Like, man, I was a nervous wreck. I'm just like, man, this is about to be so bad for me. Like, this dude is about to destroy me. I had no confidence. Like, I'm sorry, I had no confidence. I'm just like, this is about to go bad. Like, I'm about to get embarrassed in front of the city, all my friends. Like, so eventually that night came around. I ended up having 21 and 10.
That'll do it. That'll do it.
We ended up, we definitely lost the game. I think we ended up losing by maybe 2.
Got you.
But by the end of the game,
they talking about you.
They talking about me. And I'm thinking to myself afterwards, I'm like, man, I might be all right. Because like I said, this guy I feel like is a god at this game. And and you know, not only did I match up, I almost, that night I outplayed him.
Yeah.
So for me, that was my moment. And I'm like, all right, I might need to take this game like serious.
Yeah.
So, you know, I ended up, you know, I went on to have a really, really good freshman year to the point where I almost won Mr. Basketball as a freshman.
Damn.
And going into that summer, you know, I got invited to some camps. I ended up going to the Nike Jamboree, which is in St. Louis. And I don't know about rank. I knew nothing about rankings. I knew.
You just hooping.
I'm just hooping, bro. Like, I go to the camp, and I remember walking through the gym door, and then they had like this weird setup where they had like this plastic tunnel from the entrance of the door all the way to the court. And the tunnel was like blue. And I remember walking through the tunnel with my AAU coach, Danny Pritchett. Shout out Danny Pritchett. And as I'm walking in, I see this black bald head dude. Black as shit. But the tunnel is so, like, it's a dark blue tunnel. So I'm like, I know that ain't who I think it is.
We talking about Jordan?
The first person I see walking in the gym is fucking Michael Jordan.
Oh, hell
And I'm like, whoa,
wait a minute.
Like, what is happening? Like, where am I? And I'm like, like, damn, this is fucking just, so I'm like trying to keep my cool, and I'm like, I'm so confused on I'm like, bro, what is happening right now? Like, So, you know, I shake his hand, I introduce myself, and, you know, he's like, good luck, kid. He knows, he has no clue who I am. Right? So, I go on in the camp, and all I remember my coach telling me, it was like, just run hard.
Run hard.
All I need you to do is go to this camp and run hard. I'm like, all right. He said, everything else would take care of itself.
Because they know you can play.
He knew I could. He always saw my, and that's how it works. It's always somebody else that could see the potential before you do. And we would always, he would always tell me, like, man, you got such a chance. And my question back to him would always be, how do you know, and you ain't never seen that level of it? Like, how do you know this?
And was he at that level?
Never. I'm like, you don't even know an NBA player. How can you sit here and say that you know I have a chance of being an NBA player just because I'm tall? And like I said, his advice to me that day was just run hard. So I went in the camp, I just ran hard and did everything I did, you know, in between that. End of the camp, you know, end of the camp happened. Rankings come out. They ranked me the #1 player in the country.
As a freshman. Going into your sophomore year.
For my class. So.
And you not even, when you
it's not even registering for, and I'm like, what you mean I'm the #1 player? Like, what's that even mean? Like in the country, like, what's that mean? So
who's at this camp? Everybody.
Everybody, bro. Everybody. And I mean, everybody in our 2009 class was there.
Fried. Killing them.
And like I said, I don't know who anybody is. I mean, I know now, but at the time, I knew who nobody was. So boom, I finished this camp. We get the rankings. So as soon as the camp is done, my coach was like, you just got invited to another camp. So I'm like, I'm so overwhelmed by everything that's happening. I'm like, man, I done walked in here, met Michael Jordan. I leave out of the camp. This is like maybe a week camp. I finished the camp. Now I'm ranked number 1 in the country. And now coach like, yeah, you just got invited to one of the biggest camps in the world. I'm like, what's that?
Yeah.
He's like, it's the Nike All-American camp. No, I actually said that wrong. I had 2 invites. It was to the Nike All-American camp, which was in Indianapolis, and the Reebok ABCD camp. Okay. Which was in, I believe, Jersey or something like that.
Yeah, that used to be one of the ones.
So my coach was like, which one you want to do? And I'm like, well, shit, I do like Nike shoes better. Like, so I'm like, I mean,
look, no cap.
Nike, I guess. Like, yeah, I mean, I do Nike. And, I went to Indianapolis camp. Derrick Rose, Eric Gordon, Derrick Rose.
Insane.
Man, I walk into this camp, I'm like, nah, this definitely not the Nike Jamboree camp.
Yes.
Like, this is on another level.
Yes, because you were a freshman.
I was a freshman.
Oh, yeah.
But these are all the older classes.
Older guys, yeah.
And I have no clue who anybody, and I'm just like, whoa, like, I'm like, man, I can't do none of this. Like, so coach was like, just remember, run hard.
Yeah.
Like, I go in there, I do my thing, I shine in the camp.
The champions have been crowned, the basketball season is over, but that does not mean the fun needs to stop. We have teamed up with DraftKings, our official sponsor of Run Your Race. Go to DraftKings right now, download the app, and use promo code RACE. New customers who bet as little as $5 get $150 in bonus bets instantly. As I said, the basketball season is over, but they got many other sports. You got golf, you got baseball, you got MMA, and many other sports. And you can use your $150 in bonus bets on DraftKings same-game parlays for a shot at an even bigger payout. If sports betting isn't legal in your state or if sports betting isn't your thing, DraftKings got you with DraftKings Pick 6. So go to DraftKings right now, download the app, and use promo code RACE. New customers who bet as little as $5 get $150 in bonus bets instantly. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Number 1 player in the country for your class, and you see D Rose.
D Rose.
You a young buck.
I'm seeing D Rose, Eric Gordon, Tyreke Evans, all these different guys, and
Do you know these guys at this point?
I don't. I'm just looking at them hooping.
You're like, who the fuck is that? Yeah.
And it's at an even crazier level because, like I said, the guy I was looking at in Stanley Robinson, I thought he was just this, talent you'll never see again.
Yeah.
And
you see 3, 4, 5 of them.
Everybody in here doing the same thing. I'm like, man, like these dudes jumping head above the, and it was a bit intimidating, but at the same time, I remember in that moment, I'm like, all right, well, you did it, once. And I was the type of player, like, my confidence grew with, like, every moment.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like a long process for me. Like, I had one good moment, that was a building block. I had another, and it just, it was like that for me. So, my confidence is high from this previous camp.
For sure.
I just met Michael Jordan. I'm like, man, y'all can't tell me shit.
Can't tell me nothing.
So, I go into this next camp and, my mind said, man, just go in and
do the same thing.
Run hard.
Yeah.
Like, run hard.
Key, kids. Run hard.
And, I did my thing, and obviously this camp was a little more difficult. But same thing. I came out with all this praise. This freshman big, and I remember them referring to me as an aircraft carrier. He was like, they referred to me as a human aircraft carrier.
That's crazy.
And you know, like I said, my confidence grew, and you know, after I completed that camp, you know, I'm #1 in the country as, you know, the 2009 class and all of these things. So I'm like, all right.
How you handling that though?
That's when shit started really getting shaky for me.
Yeah. Hey, listen, been
So,
there.
Yeah. So now it's just, for me, it's just, this is just hoop. I know nothing about the business.
You wish you never knew. And you
Facts.
I'm telling you, bro, I know exactly what you're talking about. Cause I was in the same, my freshman year, #1 in the country. I wish I never knew about any other shit.
And for me, that's when, you know, a lot of things got cloudy for me. Nothing started to make sense anymore. I had all these people that, you know, now have interest in me. Grown men just like chasing me down, calling my phone, showing up to the school, like
Who
pulling
the fuck
me
are
out
you?
of class. I'm such and such, and I represent such and such, and here's a pair of shoes. Like,
Yeah.
it was just weird for me. And
In Alabama.
and on top of that, it's never really been seen before.
For
like,
sure.
Even with Stanley Robinson, like,
It went to that magnitude.
it wasn't to the magnitude. I'm on the front of the newspaper every game.
Yeah.
Everybody in the city, you know, within my community, I was known. Like, my community. But now throughout the entire city,
You the guy.
throughout the entire state,
Yeah. Everybody want to know what you're doing.
People asking me for pictures. Like, it just got really, really weird for me. And, you know, some parts of it is cool. I mean, obviously, when you a kid and, you know, you gain this popularity, it's some cool parts to it. But it was a lot of parts that came with it that, one, I had no experience in, two, nobody around me had experience in. And it just became a really, really difficult process. So, like I said, the business started to flow into it, and now the high school that I'm at, the principal is, you know, he's trying to convince me to come play with his AAU team, and now everybody wants me to do this and that, and if you come here, we'll be able to get Nike to. Then Nike came and sponsored the school. It just got crazy. Like, and now I'm starting to feel all this pressure and like, you got to do this the right way, and like I said, so I was the motherfucker that was skipping class,
and you hear more voices other than just your coach.
Yes,
your guy who was there from day one,
and he can't protect me in school.
Facts. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, so it became, you know, for me, almost dark, but it was also like a lifeful situation as well. Like, so it was tough for me to deal with. But like I said,
how would you encourage somebody to handle that? Because, like I said, I think you got to go through it though.
I don't think it's the responsibility of the kid. I think it's the responsibility of the adults around the kid.
That's true. But that's the hard part too. The right people.
It is, because you got to have people with the right intentions.
You got the right intentions. And I know that's the hardest part.
That's the hardest
part with it.
And I give my mom so much credit, because regardless of how much attention I received, regardless of how much money was being offered to me, I was her son. She was going to protect her son. And she always said, my son can't be bought. That was her #1 pitch. Like, my son can't be bought. If you coming to me talking about money, I don't even want to hear it. And I'm at the same time, I'm looking at my mom like, hey,
we
Mom,
need that bread.
Hey,
let's get that bread.
Broke. You sure you don't want to hear them out?
Yeah,
like,
let's talk to them. Let's hear what they say. Let's hit a number at least.
And I mean, I look back on it now and I respect it, because, you know, being in the position I'm in now, it's like, it was already hard for me as a kid trying to figure out all the dynamics that was happening around me, and trying to focus on just getting better at basketball. Because, like I said, you know, it's plenty of people that start off the top dog in high school, and by the time we hit our senior year,
you don't hear
forgotten.
About it. You don't even know who it was.
So that's an easy thing to happen.
1000%.
So for me, like I said, I look back on it and it's like, my mom did it the right way, and maybe we didn't benefit from it the way we could have. but it worked out in our scenario.
1000%.
And it matched who we were as people.
For
if
sure.
that made sense. So I always tell her, like, I appreciate the way, you handled me through those processes, because it could have got a lot ugly.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's, you probably think about it more than people think. You got to understand, you came from skipping class, not going to class at all, not fucking thinking about basketball. And then somebody just sees you and asks you, hey, I need you to just come play on my team right quick.
Right.
And then you the #1 player in the country.
2 years later.
2 years later, and the school is getting sponsored by Nike because of you. How the fuck do you tell a 14, 15-year-old, this is all you? Everything rides on, like, 2 years ago, you weren't even thinking about this shit.
I wasn't even thinking about it, brother.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
And,
we didn't get to colleges yet.
We didn't even get to college.
We didn't even get the fucking, because that gets ruthless.
Yeah.
That shit gets real ruthless. And the fact that and shout out to Mom for just holding it down, steering you in the right path, because at the end of the day, that just made you a better person. Just understanding, like, we don't need that.
Right.
We just trying to find the right people.
We just want you to be a good person, be the best person you could be every day.
That's it.
If this is a thing that you love and this is what you want to do, just focus on that and get better at it every day. All the other stuff that's happening around it, she always said, that's just a distraction.
That's it.
And like I said, I appreciate that approach, because it would have got so much uglier for me. And even with all that great advice, it still got ugly for me.
Yeah.
And like I said, I didn't understand the business. It was a lot of things, it was a lot of bad habits I had just with, how I deal with different situations or dealing with adversity or wherever the case may be. And, I reverted back to what I was comfortable with and all I knew. Shit, you bother me, I'm gonna turn up on your ass. Like, if it's something
don't bother me.
Yeah, if it's something I ain't rock with, I'm gonna turn up on your ass. Like, that was, and like I said, that was my environment. That was my community. Like, you bother us, we gonna turn up on your ass.
Yeah.
Like, so it was a lot. It was a lot for me going through high school. And I remember the other day we were practicing and you was asking me about Carolina. I was like, man, Carolina ain't rock with me, bro. Because by my sophomore year, during my sophomore year, I was out of school, kicked out.
After you the #1 player in the country?
Out. I got kicked out. And
damn.
And I lost a lot of recruitment. And it was a weird situation. Something I ain't never spoke on till this day. So you get an exclusive. But
shout out to Boogie. Let's run your race. Exclusives.
I had the school I was at, like, I was getting a lot of attention, a lot of media attention, a lot of national attention. And, if it's hard for me to handle, imagine what it's like for people that have watched me grow up since I was a jit. Like, this kid, he don't deserve, or however you may feel about, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, you know what I'm saying? I got a lot of, like, I would get praise, but I also got a lot of hate.
Oh, there's a bunch of haters out there.
Man,
yeah, there's more of those.
And my hate was coming directly from
the people you think that fuck with you.
Yeah, or people right within my school, or like grown men in my school. I had a teacher.
Sometimes your teammates.
No, that's one thing. Well, I agree. That is true. I did receive some. So it was a situation where sophomore year, we just finished up a Christmas tournament. Was it a Christmas? It might have been Thanksgiving. It was a holiday tournament. It might have been Thanksgiving. So it was around maybe November, something like that. We ended up coming in second place in that tournament. So we're pissed.
Yeah.
Team pissed. We hate that we lost. And it was one of my teachers. I won't say his name. He was a teacher for me and also like a school bus driver, but he was also like I want to say like a baseball coach as well. He's a guy with many titles. And always hating on me. Always had something to say to me. And it was just always something negative coming from him when it came to me. I knew he didn't care for me, which was whatever. I'm a maneuver around the bullshit. So it's whatever. Sometimes you got to deal with people that don't care for you. But it came to this, it finally came to a head this one night, and he decided, like I said, we lost that night. We sitting in the back of the bus, and we also had the JV team on there. So
he's the bus driver.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the JV team ended up winning the tournament. They won their tournament, and the varsity came second in the tournament.
Gotcha.
So we all ride together, and JV celebrating, varsity on there pissed. We salty.
Yeah.
So while they celebrate, we like, man, shut up, man. We ain't trying to hear that shit. So
weak ass tournament y'all played it.
So my mom ended up going to the tournament, and it's hard to describe the situation without it actually being there. So anyway, the way the bus is set up, it's sitting on the top of the hill, and right below the hill was a parking lot. My mom's sitting in the parking lot. She has a clear view of the bus. So, like I said, ruckus started once, the varsity and JV kind of had words. It was all love. It was nothing serious. It just happened. Just kids being kids.
Yeah.
And that same bus driver was like, hey, man, get off the bus, man. We ain't trying to hear all that noise. I'm like, me?
Yeah.
Like, all right, fuck it. I want to ride with my mom anyway. Like, I didn't want to have to go back to the school, then get in the car.
Yes.
So I'm like, cool, I'll just shoot to the crib, whatever. Yeah. So, I got my backpack, I got my gym bags, I got all these things. Like I said, I'm 6'10" on the yellow cheese school bus.
Yeah, yeah.
So when I stand up, I'm in there like, like this. Walk to the front of the bus, I got all this stuff with me. So as I go to turn down the bus stairs, teacher like, man, don't you bump me? And pushes me in my back. So I used to have to duck to get off the bus.
You hit your head.
Boom. Hit my head on the door of the bus, stumble out and I fall to the ground.
Oh yeah.
I already told you.
You mess with me.
I'm gonna turn up on your ass.
Now he pushed you. And you hit your fucking head. Oh yeah. You saw red.
So I handled my business.
Yeah, had to do what you had to do.
I handled my business. And I'm not saying that was the right answer.
Yeah.
But in that moment, me knowing what I know, what I'm used to, this is what I revert back to.
Yep.
So I handle my business. And it's a bad situation, and police get involved, all these other things, yada, yada, yada.
And that just all led to you getting kicked out.
So in my mind, I'm like, man, this dude just put his first of all, this grown-ass man just put his hands on me.
First, let's clarify that.
Like, this is a grown-ass man.
Yeah.
At this time, I'm 15, 6, like something like that. So obviously it's a school meeting. I have to meet with the principal. Then it goes from that to the school board, and eventually they kicked me out of school. And I'm like, I didn't understand why at the time. I mean, shit, I really still don't. Like, I felt like it was more on the adult than it should have been on me.
Because you was leaving.
Correct. Like, I'm like, what the fuck did I do wrong? I mean, maybe I shouldn't have whooped his ass, but outside of that, what did I do wrong?
Yeah. He asked me to leave. I was leaving.
So, they choose that, I was in the wrong. They expelled me. They kicked me out of school, and I ended up doing some months in the boot camp.
Damn.
And that's when I really, like, it was a period in my life. I'm like, man, I started to hate it.
Hoops?
I hated it.
Damn.
These months I'm spending in this camp, They put me on the front of the newspaper like I'm a criminal.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Blast me all over the paper, talk about how I'm in this boot camp now, kicked out of school. Never once. They got my face on the paper. Never once mentioned the teacher.
Yep.
Don't mention his name.
Mm-hmm.
Don't even show his picture. It's just me.
And that's how it's gonna be.
So for me now, it's just like, is this what comes with, you know, being good at basketball?
Yeah. Why would I want this shit?
Like, I ain't even asked for this shit.
Yeah.
Like, this shit kind of just happened and like, this is results of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a period of time where I hated it. And, I missed my entire sophomore year. Obviously I was still able to, I missed my whole sophomore year of basketball. Like,
yep.
So, I'm in this camp. I survived. Let's just put it like that. I survived it.
Yeah. What's next after that? Like, how did you get the shit? You just gotta tell me what's next after that. Like, how did you determine, okay, I'm gonna go hoop again? After you just said you hated the mother shit. You hate the shit.
I went through my process. I went through the emotions. I had to go through the process. I had to go through the embarrassment. I had to go through all the shit that came with it.
Mm-hmm.
I was viewed as a criminal and all these other things. And what really helped shape me was now I'm in this camp with real ass criminals.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, I ended up, when you in a situation like that, you're going to befriend whoever you befriend, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So a lot of these dudes, I end up, and ain't nobody above nobody in this shit. Like,
facts.
It don't matter if you came from money. It don't matter if you on the front of the paper for being good at, none of that shit matters.
We all in here.
We all in here. We all got to do the same shit.
Mm-hmm.
Shaved heads, we all doing the same shit, no matter where you come from. So that also helped put a lot of things in perspective for me. So, I'm hearing these dudes' stories. I'm hearing what they in this they in there for and all these different things. Then I kind of get back to that point where it's just like, man, this shit ain't me. Like, this ain't the life I want, bro. This ain't even the person I'm trying to be, bro. Like,
this is what you was trying to get away from.
Exactly. And I'm like, now I'm right back here at this crossroad. But like, what I'm gonna even do with my life? And like I said, I'm skipping class. I ain't even taking school serious for real. Highly intelligent.
Yeah.
Just bullshit. No guidance. Nobody, like, man, get your head out your ass. Like, outside of my AAU coach.
For sure.
But, man, I had to grow up.
Yeah.
Like, and I told myself that. And shout out to my dog Scoop, man. I hope all is well. But man, this dude just talked to me one day. It was a guy that was in there, and he like, man, I wish I could have your talent, bro. Dude, probably 5'4", thugging hard. Like, he thugging hard. Like, man, I wish I could play ball, bro. Like, I wish I could do what you do. Like, man, I've seen you on the front of the paper, bro. You damn near a celebrity.
What you doing in here?
What you doing in here, bro? And that helped put things into perspective for me. Like,
cause you right.
Like, this dude right, bro. And shout out to First Sergeant. Man, this lady. He got PTSD for sure. Shit. Hard body.
Yes.
Bro, I ain't never met a lady so mean, so intimidating. I never forget her voice.
Yeah.
And she was on my ass from the time I walked in. And I'm just like, damn. And I never understood why until my last day in there. Eventually I finished up the program in there. I got my grades correct.
So you able to still do school and stuff while
you got to.
Oh, you don't have a choice. Oh, bet.
You ain't in there just kicking it.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, I didn't know.
It's a whole program.
Yeah, got you.
So, I was able to start, and ain't no ball now. It's just
grades.
It's just school and whatever these sergeants got you lined up to do. That's your only options.
Oh, fuck.
So
yeah,
the only fun you probably, or the only relaxing time you did have was doing school work. Or at the beginning of the day, we all get a newspaper. That was the fun in it. You get a newspaper, that's your way of knowing what's going on in the world or what's happening, and yada, yada, yada. And
you in there for how long?
I was in there for 5 months, I want to say.
5 months. God damn. No TV, nothing?
Hell, none of that. So anyway, I just remember this lady, first sergeant. She was always on me. It was to the point where I'm like, man, this lady hate me, bro, and I ain't never did nothing to her. Like, and I ain't on there on. Like I said, I do whatever they ask. I'm just trying to get up out of here. Like, she was always on me, always tough on me. And by the end of the program, she finally explained herself to me. First time she had just a regular
combo.
I didn't even think she had a heart at one point. Like this lady is cold-blooded, man.
Major Pain type shit.
Man,
worse.
Major Pain would have been an adventure if he was a sergeant. This lady was crazy, bro. But she finally explained herself, and this was my last day in there. And she was like, you want to know I was always tough on you? She was like, 1, I see the potential you have. 2, I think you're a really good kid. Continue to be a good kid. I don't ever want to see you in this place again. She said, I was always hard on you because I have a feeling that you're going to be a star one day. And you're either going to do the right things to become this star, or you're going to be amongst these type of people the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And, it clicked for me, and everything she said kind of made sense in that moment. And what really fucked me up, she gave me a hug.
Oh, yeah. You done gave me hell for 5 months.
Bro, I'm like, man, what is happening, bro? And it was such an emotional moment for me, to the point where I dropped a tear, bro. I'm just like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like, this is like a surreal moment. So I ended up, finishing up in there. So boom. I ended up going back home. And all of this is while I was living in Birmingham. So I ended up going back home to Mobile. Ended up joining, LaFleur High School and all those things. And I just told myself, like, I'm gonna take this shit serious. I'm done with the bullshit. I'm gonna put all my energy into just, getting better at basketball, taking the game seriously, taking school seriously. And I'm gonna see what happens.
Yeah. The summer is here. That means more sun, more light, and more time with your friends and family. And you already know you do not want to be inside cooking, and that's where Factor got you. And Factor has made my life easy with chef-crafted meals, dietitian approved, and on top of that, ready within minutes. The meals always arrive fresh and ready to eat, so it makes it easy for my active lifestyle as a pro hooper. Factor isn't boring like your other meal preps. They offer you 45 different menu options weekly. And these options include Protein Plus, Calorie Smart, and Keto, and many other options. From a nutritious breakfast to a premium dinner and even desserts, Factor got you on every meal. My favorite dish is creamy lemon pepper chicken, and another go-to for me is a cranberry apple pork chop. Every Factor meal has been great so far, and they're ready within minutes, whether I've been in a rush for practice or a game. Get started at factormeals.com/RYR50off and use code RYR50off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's code RYR50OFF at factormeals.com/RYR50OFF for 50% off plus free shipping. Factormeals.com/RYR50OFF. So what happens recruiting? How'd that start back up? Because it got to be a little bit like...
So 8th grade, my 8th grade year, I went to a camp in Indiana, Indiana University.
Okay.
And at the time, Coach Mike Davis was the coach there.
Mm-hmm.
And we always stayed in contact. He was the first coach to ever send me a letter.
From Indiana?
From Indiana.
That was your first letter? First offer was who?
Indiana.
Oh, shit, yeah. Yeah.
So dude fell in love with me from the time he met me. And once again, like a full circle moment, Mike Davis ends up getting the job at UAB, which is in Birmingham.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
So for me, I'm like, this is God. This is my answer. I'm going to UAB.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
Like, thank you, God. I'm going to UAB. Yeah. And man, I committed to Mike Davis, committed to UAB. I'm like, man, it finally worked. Like, now it's starting to make sense.
It's all stars aligning at this point.
At this point, I get back, I'm back on the AAU circuit and all these things, and I'm doing my thing with ball. And at this time, I definitely dropped in the rankings. Like, they like, nah. Like,
yeah.
Dropped in the rank. I think I dropped to like top 10, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And committed to UAB. I do well my junior year. Everything, basketball, like I said, was like, it was natural for me.
Yeah.
So I kind of started back right where I left off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but actually, I got better. I got stronger. Shit, I put on weight in the camp.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was physical activity every day. We doing bear crawls, all these different, like, so I ended up getting stronger. I was in shape. We running every day, all these different things. So it actually helped my body physically.
Yeah.
And I would say mentally, like dealing with what I had to deal with in there.
Because ain't nothing you do outside of that shit harder than what you did in there.
Not even close.
So
not even close.
That's where the mental aspect come from.
Exactly. So, I get right back to hooping, and, I start doing my thing on the circuit.
Mm.
My name, starts ringing again. And I ended up transferring to another school, and now, and this school is kind of, in our area, it's legendary for basketball.
Gotcha.
A lot of guys came before me. So now I'm playing basketball kind of with a different purpose. I'm playing at a school where we're ranked nationally, and they already got a Nike sponsor. They don't need shit from me. Like,
you ain't above this school.
I ain't above, you know what I'm saying? Now things are starting to, whatever. Now I'm just focused on playing basketball. I got a coach shout out to Coach Otis Hughley. Now I got a coach that's established, and it's kind of where Coach Danny kind of had to pass me off. At this point, I think I got to a point where, Coach Danny couldn't lead me anymore.
Yeah.
And I needed somebody else to help me get to that next step.
Level, yeah. Because he don't really have the blueprint.
He don't have the blueprint.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was. And now Coach Hughley, he's teaching me to play the game the right way. It ain't just about my talent.
Mm-hmm.
It's about leaving an impact on the floor. It's about getting people involved around you. It's about, just playing basketball the correct way, on top of using your talent while doing it. And boom, I hit another level.
Yeah.
I hit another level. And, now I'm playing against, nationally ranked competition. I'm traveling with school ball now. We playing tournaments in Hawaii, and we every other weekend we're flying somewhere, playing ball.
Yeah.
So, I was locked in, and Coach Hughley, he was tough on me. I embraced it. I was locked in when it came to school because, at my time coming up, you had to get through the clearinghouse, you got to pass the ACT, you got to do all these different things just to qualify for college.
Shit was crazy, bro.
Wasn't no NIL and all that.
No, hell no, bro. The shit was insane.
So it was a lot of, things I just had to do just to even get into college.
Yeah.
So he was like, yeah, it's cool that you committed, but he was like, you got to get to the school. Like, but you think you going to show up with just whatever type of, like, that's not how this works.
Yeah.
So, he helped, shape me and he helped match my plan as far as let's lock in on this and let's make the best of this opportunity. So it worked out perfectly.
For sure.
I finished up my junior year. It went great. So senior year rolls around.
You still committed to UAB?
Still committed. So senior year rolls around and, now it's like my talent is real.
Yeah,
like,
you fucking everybody up at this point.
The pro potential is real. Like everything is real now. It's right in front of me now. I'm seeing it with my own eyes.
Yeah.
So now it's like, you think going to UAB is going
Yeah.
And then in the back of my mind too, I'm so accustomed to, being home. And like I said, Birmingham was home for me. So when I went back home to Mobile, I was a little devastated about it because, Birmingham was where I was raised. So I'm like, yeah, once I get done with high school, I get to go right back to Birmingham. And, things will feel normal again.
Yeah.
And then even my mom, she was always like adamant about it. Like, I don't want you back there.
Go back there. Yeah.
Like, you don't need to be there. You need to leave. And I'm like, nah, it's gonna be straight. Like, I'm gonna go to UAB with Mike Day. It's gonna work out. She's just like, I don't trust you being home in Birmingham.
Yeah.
So, like I said, senior year rolls around, and everything's still going well with hoop. I'm still on the right. I'm doing everything. I'm doing things the right way. And like I said, it started to finally kind of make sense. And and the reason I ended up committing to UAB, Mike Davis was trying to get the Alabama job. So when we agreed on the commitment, he was like, don't commit to the school, commit to me. And that way, we're going to try to finesse something to where it's a two-man package to get this Alabama job.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't work out that way.
Yep. Cool.
It just didn't work out that way.
Yeah.
So eventually, I ended up decommitting. So let's rewind for a second. The first college basketball game I ever went to was my 8th grade year. I got some free tickets to a UAB game, and it happened to be against Memphis. So I don't know players like that and nothing like that. So I'm watching this Memphis game. This team got Sean Williams, Rodney McCartney, like dogs.
Some guys.
Dogs.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing Sean Williams. And I kind of already told you the mold of play. Like Stanley Robinson was the mold of player that, I liked.
He the pinnacle.
So I didn't know who Sean was at the time. By the end of the game, I knew exactly who he was. They kept saying his damn name. Like,
he was
scoring.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm watching Sean Williams. I'm like, man, that's how I'm trying to hoop. Like, I want to play like that. Sean out there 6'9", got the ball on the string, shooting jumpers. Just silky smooth. Game, silky smooth. Same thing. So I'm like, that's how I'm trying to play. So I fall in love with Sean Williams, and I'm like, I'm so naive and ignorant when it comes to the game. I'm like, man, I'm probably going to have to go to a school like Memphis to have a chance to play like that. I don't even know who the coach is.
Yeah.
It's fucking Calipari.
Yeah.
I don't know who he is. I'm like, man, I probably have to go to Memphis if I ever want a chance to play like this. So, like I said, once I decommitted, my recruitment opened back up.
It went crazy.
One of the first letters I get,
Memphis.
Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I spoke on Tyreke Evans. I know I'm seeing once I saw these guys at camp, I'm starting to keep up with them. Now I'm like, man, I want to see what happened with this dude. This dude's so cold.
Yeah.
I want to see where he end up. Tyreke go to Memphis. I'm like, man, everything's kind of making sense.
Yeah.
So, I finally end up getting in contact with Kyle, and he tells me he's interested in all these things, and my senior year, my school in the middle of the hood. Middle of the hood. Like, ain't nobody coming in there unless you from there.
Yeah. Kyle walked right up there.
Kyle pulled up to the hood, walked the halls with us. Like, I go to an all-black school. Like, and when he walk in, people just start going crazy. I'm looking at the reactions like damn, like,
yeah. Everybody know who this is.
Everybody know who this is, and I'm not even realizing how important this dude is.
Yeah.
Like, so Kyle talks to me, and he tells me how interested he is in me, and I tell him, man, like, I've been a fan of how you coach since I saw Sean Williams play. I was like, I want to play like Sean Williams. You can kind of laugh it off. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
But long story short, I ended up, committing to Memphis, and, now things are starting to make sense. Like, and Kyle telling me how much potential I have, and, he's telling me the ways he can, play me in his system and all those type of things. And like I said, everything's just starting to make sense. So
talk about a confident dude. Kyle.
Oh yeah.
When he walk in there, he know he the shit.
He know he the shit, bro. He know
it, bro.
So I ended up committing to Memphis, and everything's lining up. I have a fantastic senior year. End up, I don't even remember all the damn awards I got.
Yeah.
Like, it was just, any type of award you could think of. I was receiving them.
Yep.
And I remember at the end of my senior year, they do the end of the year banquet and all these things, and the guy that gives me like my first like plaque of like player of the year or some shit was John Lucas. I have no clue who this guy is.
Yeah.
If you know John Lucas, you know how loud and crazy
he's definitely loud as hell.
Greatest dude in the world.
Great dude.
But John Lucas is John Lucas.
Yes.
And he's gonna be John Lucas no matter where he is.
He's gonna make sure you know.
Yeah.
He's John Lucas.
He sees me. What's up, you big motherfucker? I'm like, man, who is this dude, man? He got the thick mustache, the Steve Harvey mustache. Man, what this crazy old dude is, man. Like, he like, man, I know you don't know who I am, but I know who you are.
Yeah.
And all I want to tell you, make sure you keep your head out your ass, because you can be a star one day. And he passes me my award, and I'm just like,
okay,
thanks.
Yeah.
Like, all right. But it still stuck with me, because later on, after I finished my senior year, I'm now preparing to going to college and things like that. So I actually ended up going out to Texas to train. And it ended up being with John Lucas.
Talk about crazy ass workouts.
Oh man.
Oh hell.
that put things into perspective for me too. Like, man. But everything ended up working out, and eventually Kyle ended up, leaving Memphis and going to Kentucky. And
That was easy for you?
Easy decision. And I had ended up going to a camp. I ended up going to a Kentucky camp in my high school time.
Gotcha.
So, and at the time, Billy Gillespie was there.
Mm.
But, you know, I got to see the campus and things. It was like an unofficial visit while I was there.
Mm.
They knew who I had my name. They were interested in me and all these things. And, you know, I saw Billy Gillespie conduct a practice.
Mm-hmm. I
say, ain't no way in hell I ever play for that man. This dude is a lunatic. He's crazy. And I'm gonna finish this camp and get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Like, ain't a chance in hell.
I'm coming to Kentucky.
Dude, it's nuts. But, you know, Cal ended up taking the job. So, you know, I'm like, shit, well, I've been to Kentucky.
Have you seen it? Have you seen a Cal practice at that point?
No.
Yeah. Was Kenny Payne his assistant in Memphis?
No, KP wasn't there yet.
But he came to Kentucky.
KP came after I left.
Oh, have you had a Kenny Payne workout?
Nope. I've heard.
You know?
And KP my dog.
Yeah, no,
I love
sure.
KP.
I
love KP. But I've heard the stories.
Boy.
KP came after our class left.
Got you.
But we had Antigua, Orlando Antigua. We had Scott Padgett. We had Tony Delt, Rod Strickland. That's who gave me the name Boogie.
Yeah.
We had basically a pro staff.
Yeah, Coach O was lit. Coach O recruited me.
So, you know, Cal, like I said, Cal took that job. I followed, and you know, the rest was.
Did you know what you was getting into?
No. I remember my first practice, and I'm like, man, this dude lied to me. You know, when these coaches recruit you, they tell you everything you want to hear.
Yeah.
You know, he's telling me, like I said, he's telling me how he's gonna play me in the system. Like I told you, I want to play like Sean Williams. I want to dribble the ball.
I don't remember you dribbling. I don't remember you dribbling the ball.
Yeah, me either. Man, the first practice, bro, I grabbed a rebound and decided I wanted to go dribble the ball up the floor and didn't turn the ball over, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Cal blew the whistle. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
I got my fucking center bringing up. This is John Wall.
Yeah. I was about to say.
The #1 pick. And I got my center bringing the ball up. And I'm like,
damn,
but you told me I could. You said you were going to let me like bring the ball. I don't ever want to see you bring the ball up again.
You better get that ball to John Wall.
You better get that ball to John. And in that moment, I'm like, oh, this motherfucker lied. I've been finessed. This dude done lied to me. So now, and like I said earlier, like my transition to college was just a whole nother, like, I think we all go through that. Like,
yeah, for sure.
You really realize, oh shit.
This
ain't my show at all. No, not even close.
Not even close.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously we all go through that.
Did you understand the class you was in? With John, you?
Hell yeah. You want to know something crazy about me and John?
Didn't know each other.
Who did?
Did y'all know each other like that? Were y'all close?
I met John Wall, and hear me when I say this. I met John Wall before he became John Wall. We in this raggedy-ass 8th grade year. We in this raggedy-ass tournament in Detroit. This little dusty-ass dude with braids. We playing this team, and it's this little dusty-ass dude with braids, pigeon-toed, like just flying up and down the court. And he got like this little, we ended up kicking their ass, but he got like this little rim grazer, like damn near his fingertips, dunks the ball. And his people go, like, they came with like a crowd.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they had a nice little crowd, so they go crazy after you do it. I'm like, man, that weak ass shit. But in that moment, that was his first dunk.
Oh.
That was John's first dunk.
And then he was John Wall.
No, John Wall didn't become John Wall until our junior year. So, but at 14, me and this dude met each other. And after the game, we were kicking it, hanging out. Like, so from that 8th grade moment, we fast forward to junior year. John walks into the LeBron camp.
Mm-hmm.
John's late to the camp. John just became the #1 player in the country.
Mm-hmm.
So he walk in the camp and everybody like, oh shit, they gonna say, you know how camp be.
Yeah. There go John.
I ain't thinking that. I'm like, John, what up? Like, bro, I ain't seen you since the 8th grade, bro. Like, whoop, like, I'm not even putting 2 and 2 together either. Just, hey, bro, what's good, bro? Good to see you. Like, and, you know, John with a similar story as far as not really knowing, like, people like that and all these things. He don't know nobody at camp, so he see me, he just as excited.
Yeah.
So we click up and we in camp and, you know, we kicking it, and by the end of the camp, we done told each other, hey, bro, we gotta go to school together, bro. Like, and that's kind of how
it all
ended up
Yeah.
happening. But
you think y'all team could beat the platoon system?
Who? That team at Kentucky? Man, that team was loaded, bro.
They were loaded, bro.
They had like 3 starting 5s.
They was nice, bruh.
Do I think we could beat them? I mean, yeah. In college basketball, when it comes to college basketball, anything can happen.
You never know.
Anything can happen.
For sure.
I
They
know
were stacked.
I know we were some dogs. I know we were confident. And I know we were fearless.
Yeah.
So with them 3 intangibles being in college, I'm going to say yes.
Yeah.
Do I think that team has more talent? Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah, for
like,
sure.
That might be the most talented college team ever.
Oh, I said that.
Ever.
It's not, I don't think it's
regardless
close.
If they won or not, just roster, like the
just
names on that roster.
That just shows college basketball.
Exactly.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
They should have never lost a game. And they
it's
almost
college.
Did. Yeah.
Like, all it takes is one bad night. Like
1000%.
And it's the same thing that happened with us in the tournament.
Oh, yeah, for sure. They lost to Joe Mazzulla.
I know. Joe Mazzulla was guarding me. He was in the back of the 1-3-1. This motherfucker was guarding me, bro.
When did you, you know what's crazy when you talked about Indiana? The fact that y'all played Indiana that year was crazy. And y'all hooped. I mean, y'all were rock stars. I would say for me, this is my lifetime. Everybody else had the Fab Five. Y'all were the Fab Five to our generation.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And that shit was crazy. Y'all had the hyper dunks.
The Nike socks, the sleeves.
Bruh, the shit was crazy,
yes,
bruh. What up, everybody? Y'all know what time it is. It's time for Theo's Picks. But first, go to DraftKings right now, download the app, and use promo code RACE. Now let's get to the picks. The champion's been crowned in the NBA, so now we're talking about the WNBA. We have LA versus Indiana in Indiana. I'm going to go Indiana. I think Indiana's point guard is one of the best players in the league. She's elite, and I have a feeling they're going to win that game. And it's at home, so I got Indiana winning that game. Then we have DC versus Las Vegas in Las Vegas. Both teams are playing good basketball. Well, okay, let's take that back. Las Vegas is not playing good basketball, but they need this win. But DC is shocking people and going out there and got a decent record. Did not expect it. But I'm going to say Las Vegas is going to win this game. I think they're going to turn that corner. They have a colleague of mine, but also I think they're good enough to turn the corner at some point. I think they're going to figure it out. Friday, June 27th, we got Minnesota versus Atlanta in Atlanta. That's going to be a Minnesota win. Minnesota's the best team in WNBA. They are very good and a very entertaining team. Next, we got Indiana versus Dallas in Dallas. Wish I was home so I can go to that game. But I don't know who's going to win now. I'm going to say Dallas. I think Dallas is going to come up with an upset. I mean, they're going to be playing at American Airlines. They're going to be an NBA arena. So I'm going to say Dallas is going to come out, feed off the home arena, and get the win. Next, we got Chicago versus Golden State in Golden State. Golden State is a sleeper team. They've been playing very good basketball. I got Golden State winning that one. Then we got New York versus Phoenix in Phoenix. I'm going to say Phoenix is going to win that one. Phoenix is a sleeper team too. They have playing good basketball. And like I said, I love the way they play, and up and down, their power forward is a problem. And then we got Connecticut versus Seattle. I'm not picking Connecticut. Connecticut is not good. So I will pick Seattle in that one. But that is another Theo's picks. Y'all go to DraftKings right now, download the app, and use promo code RACE. Now let's get back to the episode.
Yes.
When did you figure it out? When did you become Boogie?
The day I stepped foot on UK campus, dog.
Go time.
It was go time, and it was no looking back. I'm like, oh, this is this is it. I mean,
and you had the PG to go with you?
Yeah.
Oh,
till this day, my best years ever when it comes to basketball at any level.
Mm-hmm.
One of the most fun times, most genuine times. It was a group of guys that really, really cared and loved about each other.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the UK fan base is fucking insane. Like, they still, I mean, that was 15 years ago. They still support us like we were there last week.
Yeah.
So, always gonna have, that place gonna always have a place in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they helped me. I mean, it wouldn't be no Boogie without that place.
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't even exist. You know what I mean? So,
how much did Cal help you?
So much. He made me grow up. Like, he taught me how to be a pro. Taught me how to, you know, obviously how to sacrifice, continue to play the game the right way. He taught all us that. He taught us that, you know, no one player was more important than the next. Like, you can be the star guy, but you still need your supporting cast.
1000%.
And you can't be a star without the supporting cast.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, you know, play for one another, sacrifice for one another, all of those things. And, you know, that regardless of, you know, how much talent comes through Kentucky, I feel like our class will always be the most special one.
1000%.
And it's not because, you know, we were the first or, you know, or we were the best or whatever the case may be. I said because we set a standard.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It was a standard set.
We set a standard,
mm-hmm.
and that standard turned into Anthony Davis and the championship team.
Yep.
That standard turned into
Carl
the platoon and all of those things,
mm-hmm.
and just to see the history that was made and all the talent come through there and
crazy,
and they all follow that same standard that we helped set and put in place. It's gonna always mean the world to me.
For sure.
That means more to me than actually, you know, even let's hypothetically say we did win a championship. That standard and, you know, that experience stood out and was still mean more to me than actually winning a championship.
For sure.
Because you see the effects of it throughout the years.
Yeah.
So
to this day, even with Cal not being there, it's still like, you still think like, that's Kentucky though. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And like, and once we got there, like I said, it was a special group because one, we all come, and when I speak specifically, I'm talking about those freshmen as well. Shout out to Patrick Patterson. He was the OG on the team.
Yeah, he was OG.
And I mean, he was a great vet for everybody.
Because it was you, Bled, John, Daniel Orton.
John Hood.
Yeah.
Am I missing anybody? Another freshman? No, but it was also a guy named Darnell Dotson.
Yeah, he was already there.
No, he came that year.
He came with y'all?
He came in with us. I think he came in from JUCO.
Got you.
But shout out to DeAndre Liggins, another, you know, veteran guy. Yeah. Darius Miller, another veteran guy.
Got you, yeah. Because he stayed there about 2-3 months.
I think D-Mill stayed
3. I think it was 3.
3. Yep.
Because did he end up winning it? Was he on the winning team?
He did.
With AD?
Yeah.
Think so.
He did. So he might have stayed 4 years.
Maybe. You know, Cal don't really allow that shit.
Right.
He's like, I like you enough, you can stay, my boy. But it got real for you quick, though.
It did.
Y'all whole team lottery picks. You weren't worried about number 1. You knew John was going number 1. Or were you still like?
I mean, it got so crazy. And you know, going into that year, like I never expected myself to be a one and done. Like,
Oh, gotcha.
So, and you know, once I got to college and, you know, we started playing pickup.
Mm-hmm.
I'm matched up against Patrick Patterson. This dude's strong as a damn ox. He got a full beard. He got chest hair and shit.
A grown man.
He a grown ass man.
Yeah.
So I just remember that first bump.
Mm-hmm.
I got the ball. I did the first bump. And usually with the first bump with me, I'm moving.
You moving somebody. Nah.
I bumped him and I went backwards with the ball. So I'm like,
let's regroup.
Yeah, I got some work to do. Yeah. I got some real work to do. And so for me, you know, I remain that same person to where each moment for me, it just, it built me up. I gained confidence from it.
And that helps you just playing against good players too.
Every single day.
Every single day.
And once we got to the game, man, it didn't matter who was in front. I'm like, man, ain't none of y'all him.
Yes.
Ain't none of y'all Patrick Patterson. Ain't none of y'all built like this dude. So I ain't worried about nobody else.
Yeah.
Like, so, you know, it got real quick. I mean.
Was there any question you were coming back?
You know what's crazy? So after we lost, you know, obviously John is the #1 pick. They talking about it the whole year.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't really a guy that, I wasn't watching the draft boards and shit. I didn't even really know about it.
No.
I was so ignorant when it came to this shit. Like, bro, I'm literally just hooping, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I'm hooping and just enjoying the moment.
You hear about it, but you ain't going to look yourself.
I'm not looking it up. Like, John, he was
like, nigga, just watch Sports Center.
I'm like, what you on? I'm like, me and John were roommates. So John, my side of the room, you know, as we entered our dorm, my bed and my desk was first, and then on the other side was John with his bed and his desk.
Yeah.
So you go past my desk, only thing on my computer is Skype. I'm on there with the ladies.
Yeah.
Like, John, he on there on NBA Draft.net watching his draft stuff. So it's two different perspectives in the room, bro. I'm on Skype or I'm on live mixtape. I'm trying to get my little playlist together and shit. Or I'm on some whole other shit.
Nigga, look at that draft board.
John locked in. John, like, man, I'm trying to go #1.
Yeah, he
bro.
like Boogie, such and such roles. Like, nigga, I don't care.
Who? Like, who is that? Like, so it was obviously two different perspectives, but I've told this story before. Like, I started to realize how ignorant I was and naive I was. And I wasn't like ashamed of it. I was like, all right, well, let me try to figure out what's going on. So I just started to watch John from afar. He didn't know. I ended up telling him years later, but I just soaked up game from him. And, you know, John had a little team around him, and, you know, he had his certain guys that would come into town and, you know, prep him for different shit. And John got a video shoot every other week. John, star. I'm just in the cut.
Yeah.
And I'm just peeping game. Like, okay. All right, he doing this, and this.
Let me go get back on Skype now.
After I get done with Skype,
I'm
gonna meet John.
I'm gonna meet John.
Yeah. So I just, you know, I just started picking up things from him, and, you know, seeing how he started to prepare himself and prep for that next level. So by the end of that year, after we lost, like I said, I still didn't think I was necessarily going to the NBA. I knew I had a hell of a year in college. I knew I was really, really good.
Yep.
And I knew wasn't nobody fuck. Like that confidence, I ain't a big in this game fucking with me. Like, I knew that much.
Yeah.
So like I said, I remember asking John, so I'm like, so we gonna run it back?
Yeah.
Or John was like, man, hell no. Hell no, bro. Like, I'm going to the L. And it's crazy because the day that we lost, I remember John in the locker room crying. And I'm upset. I'm not much of a crier though. Like, so I'm upset, but I'm also like, I'm the person that's funny in the wrong moments. Like, we get chewed out by coach, and I may look at you and like make a face type shit. Like, I'm that guy.
Yeah.
So while John is in his emotions over here, I'm sitting right next to him. I'm looking at, he got snot bubbles and shit. I'm looking at him, I'm like, the fuck you crying for? You going number one. Like, be like, man, Boog, I ain't trying to hear that shit right now, man. Like bro, like, man, stop that damn crying, man.
You gotta go number one in the damn
You
draft.
going number one,
Shut
man.
your ass
Shut up. Like, but you know, I like after the emotions went by and all that, you know, I just asked John, I'm like, so we gonna run it back or what? Like, John like, Boog, I'm out. So I'm like, all right, cool. All right, whatever. So
he probably told you about your draft stock.
Nah, this is what happened for me. So we had the end of the year meetings, and you know, it's my turn. I meet up with Cal, and we kind of go over the season, whatever. And actually, we didn't even really go over the season.
Yeah.
Like I said, I knew I had a good season. So Cal is like, you walk in, and Cal is like, so all right, this is how it's gonna go. No, I'm like, this is actually how I start. I'm like, Cal, like, I want to come back and win the chip. Like,
Yeah.
I'm ready for next year already. And Cal was like, man, look, kid, talk to me like this. Kid, if you want to help my family, you'll come back. If you want to help your family, I won't see you next season. I was like, all right, cool. All right, bet. So now things are, I'm like, damn, they want me in the NBA. And now they talking about I'm a, potential top 5 pick. Like, shit, I'm out too then.
Yeah.
Like,
Fuck this shit.
Ain't nothing else for me to talk about, man. I am broke as hell.
Yeah.
Like, I'm out. I'm out.
Yeah.
So, it played out that way. And,
How many workouts you do?
The workouts did I do? I did one with the Kings. I did one with Philly.
You go to Washington? Or they already knew?
No. They knew who they were taking.
They knew they.
Yeah. I did Kings, Philly. Who was the third pick? Minnesota? Yeah, I didn't go to Minnesota.
Huh?
Who was the... So it went John, Evan Turner, Wesley Johnson.
It was
Derek Favors.
Derek Favors. So it was John, Evan, Derek Favors, Wesley Johnson, you, then Golden State with
Golden State was 6 and Detroit was 7. I did a workout in Detroit.
Okay.
So I ended up doing 3. And
where'd you think you was gonna go?
I didn't know where I was gonna go, but where I wanted to go was Detroit.
Oh, okay.
And at the time, Joe Dumars was there. He was still there. They still had Ben Wallace.
Mm-hmm.
They still had like that. I think Chauncey might have still been there, maybe. I might be wrong, but I remember having that workout in Detroit, just chatting with, Joe Dumars.
Nasty.
And it felt like home. I'm like, this
feel like it.
Compared to the other interviews, it's like,
yeah.
Hi, I'm DeMarcus. And Joe is like, hey man, what's happening? Like, you straight? What's up? What's up, young blood? Like, it's like one of them type conversations.
This is where
so
you
like,
want to be. Yeah.
Yeah, this my type of speed.
Yeah,
right here.
yeah.
Like,
Fuck all this other shit.
Fuck that corny shit. Like, so for me, and obviously how I was viewed and, just even my upbringing and my experiences, I'm like, Detroit feels like safe space for me.
Yes.
And I felt comfortable. I knew who Ben Wallace was. And when I saw him in person, like, I'd rather be his teammate than play against him. Like,
the motherfucker.
I'm like, I ain't seen a guy look like this yet. I think I want to be his teammate.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, so.
Draft night, you sitting there.
At that point,
You knew.
I knew I was going to the Kings, but with the workouts, 2 of them was against Derek Favors. So
oh shit,
I didn't know how to, and it was crazy because bro, I've been smoking D-Phase for so long, bro, and I just never understood, like, why is it always me and him matched up? Like, even throughout high school, it was just always me, Derek Favors, Derek Favors.
Who picking who?
And I think the first time we played, Derek Favors got the best of me, but I didn't even know who the hell he was.
Yeah.
It was the first time I played him in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
It was a school tournament. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, I'm like, damn, he bouncy as hell. Like, and D-Phase, he cooked me, like destroyed me. So after that happened, you know, I kept that chip on my shoulder. I'm like, man, if I ever play dude again, I'm fucking him up. Like, so
the workouts you did,
I kept every time, even in the NBA. If I played D-Phase, I'm fucking him up.
He had to see you.
He had to. I'm like, he will never get the best of me again. And I kept that word.
I kept that word.
And but
you go to the Kings.
I end up going to the Kings.
How special was that though? Draft night, lottery, incredible. Top 5.
Incredible. Everything was everything. Special moment. I got, you know, my family there supporting me. Shit. It's my little sisters and brothers first time ever even getting on a plane.
Crazy.
They fly to New York. Like,
then you got to fly across country.
Everything. It was
the next
dope.
day. That's a motherfucking
And
hike.
that was the thing. Now that's when things started to, like, the reality hit me. I'm like, damn, this shit, like, you can't even enjoy the moment. Like, so in my head and vision, like, as I'm envisioning how this night is gonna go, I'm like, you know, I'm gonna walk across the stage, I'm gonna say what I got to say, and I'm gonna walk off, and me and my family, we going to party. Like, we finna have a blast.
Yeah. Nope.
Your flight at. I walked out that stage, we walked in the back.
Interview.
It was a line. Just interview after interview after. Man, by the time we were done, I was exhausted. like, man, I just want to go to bed. But I mean, the draft probably started at 7. Man, that shit was done by like midnight. It was a lot, bro. Man. Just going through that whole process. So it's, you know, as a kid, you kind of dream about it and think it goes a certain way. And then when you actually in that moment, like reality, once again, it hits you. Like, it ain't nothing like you thought it would be.
Mm-hmm. You a top 5 pick. You going to Sacramento Kings. It's Sacramento. Okay? You got to figure this shit out. You the guy. How are you handling that? How are you going into that situation? What are those conversations like with the organization?
I was actually excited because, once again, now I'm teaming up with this guy that I thought was so damn good, and Tyreke Evans. So I'm like, oh, we about to be the new Kobe and Shaq. Like, this is up.
Yeah.
They had the whole little campaign going, Reek DMC, it was like Run DMC. The whole, I'm like, man, this shit about to be cool as hell.
We had to
I
run
got
this
a cold-ass guard, whoop-de-whoop. I had never been to California before. Like, my first time in California was when I went to Sacramento.
Oh, damn.
So, once again, I'm envisioning, I'm thinking it's L.A. I'm thinking palm trees. And
I don't know if there is a palm tree in Sac.
Bro. I'm flying in. I'm all out the window like a kid. I'm like, where the fuck the palm trees at? I'm like, I don't see nothing but fields, just farmland. Like, I'm like, this shit look like Alabama. Like, hey,
the pilot,
what the Ferraris and the Lamborghinis and shit at? It ain't.
Not one.
Not one. I'm like,
and they had, and you was in the old
Sacramento, not the current one. Man, Sackman came up so crazy. Like,
you was in the old Joe.
The airport was little as hell. Like, no, seriously, it looked like Kentucky when I was touching that.
They said the gym was ass. They said the gym That old Sacramento gym was horrible.
Bro. Bro. It was so bad. And I'm leaving Kentucky. This top notch.
Yeah.
This is like top of the top. Like maybe Carolina, maybe Kansas.
Yeah.
UCLA. It ain't much more. It ain't much more like at that level.
Yeah.
So I get there and I'm like, all right, you know, I'm in the league now. Like, so I don't know what I'm expecting. I'm just expecting the best of the best.
Yeah.
Right? So like I said, this started off initially with the Lantern, and I'm like, all right, well, this definitely ain't the California I thought it was. And, you know, I'm still excited for the opportunity, like, but now, you know, the different things are, and I don't even want to do this to where I'm sitting here like shitting on it, because that's not my intentions at all.
But
like,
that's everyone's perspective in Sac, because you think in Cali, you are thinking palm trees and all that shit, and it's just completely different.
I'm thinking models just walking down the street and just, I don't know what type of dream I thought I was living in. Like, it's just not it's not what I was expecting.
It's a completely different place.
So
it's nice as fuck now, though.
Man, it's beautiful now.
It's nice in Sac now. I ain't gonna hold you.
And the thing was, I ended up falling in love with Sacramento. It was actually, for me, like, I think it was the perfect transition for me, because I was a young kid that was naive. I was a young kid that was, you know, ignorant to a lot of things. So I think that was a good stepping stone for me.
Yeah.
It kind of matched who I was. I couldn't imagine if I got drafted to a LA Clippers and they just threw me in the midst of that. Like,
you got to focus on.
I'm a small city kid, and you just throw me in the big. I couldn't imagine going to a New York or a New Jersey or whatever the case may be. So
with all that money,
it probably was the best fit for me.
Yeah.
But you know, I enjoyed it. I embraced it. You know, I was excited for the opportunity. I was really excited to, you know, team up with Tyreke Evans. And you know, I thought we had the potential to, you know, become a really good pairing.
What was your welcome to NBA moment?
Reggie Evans, the Joker, the first Joker. I know y'all know when we say the Joker, y'all think of Jokic.
Yeah.
The first Joker was Reggie Evans.
You talk about strong.
Bro, strong, scary, intimidating.
Who is he with?
He ugly as shit. Nah, that's big bro. But he was with the Toronto Raptors. And it wasn't, you know, Reggie ain't no scorer or no guy like that. He all hustle, rebound, just grit, toughness. And I just remember the dude putting up like 25 rebounds against me and my coach, chewing me the hell out. Like, get a fucking rebound. And I remember responding like, I can't. My voice cracked. I can't do it, coach. Like,
the motherfucker's strong.
This dude is a man. Like, and he started talking shit to me, and I tried to talk shit back. Like, he's fucking me up. Like, I couldn't match his strength.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like a little boy.
Yeah. And
I just remember his post game in, and he was like, I told young fella he was barking up the wrong tree. And I in that moment, I was like, he was damn right.
Yeah.
He was so right. But that was my welcome to the moment. And
when'd you figure it out? When did it slow down? Because this is the perspective that I want people to understand too. You a superstar. You did it, like I said, the highest level. When did it become every single night it's 25? At least.
I'm gonna tell you what happened. When it clicked for me, this might have been my second year in the league.
Okay.
And this is when I was in LA. We were playing the Lakers this night. This when they had Andrew Bynum, Pau Gasol, Lamar, that big ass lineup.
Yeah.
And I'm warming up before the game. Just warming up. I don't really know nobody. Like, I'm warming up, and as I'm warming up, I get a, hey, young fella. So I kind of look back. It's Brian Shaw, Coach B. Shaw. So I'm like, yo, what up? Big fella said he gonna eat you for lunch. And, you know, B. Shaw got that cool, light tone voice.
Yeah.
Who the fuck you talking to? I'm like, why you even think you can just play with me like that? Like I'm gonna just take that as a joke. Like, it's like, all right, watch this.
Yeah.
So I end up having a 30 ball.
Mm-hmm.
On top of that, I clamped Bynum.
Yep.
I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
It's my time now.
Took over everything.
It's my time now. So in that moment, I'm like, yeah, I can do this shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I mean, my story kind of remained the same. Like with each moment, it built me up.
Yeah.
I'm starting to match up against these dudes, and you know, I had a lot of rough nights.
Yeah.
A lot of, and I was in the West.
Yes.
I had a lot of rough nights, brother.
Yeah.
So, you know, the Lakers, that championship team, them being as good as it, and in the way I was able to perform in LA against, you know, Andrew Bynum and that championship team, that really, you know, boosted my confidence. And it also allowed me to know, like, man, you can do this not only at a high level, but consistently.
For sure. Because it was, so you went SAC for 8?
No, I was in SAC for 6.5, 7 years.
And then
I went to New Orleans. New Orleans.
It was Warriors, right? After that?
I went to New Orleans, then I went to the Warriors. Then after the Warriors, it was Lakers.
Rockets.
No. Clippers. Milwaukee, Denver.
How long you was in Milwaukee?
For like 2 nights.
A hot second. It was a hot, because I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember that jersey. If somebody got that jersey, you go get some money off that.
I got. No, you're not. Actually, no, you're not. That jersey ain't worth a dime. He's lying to you. Don't try to sell that shit.
Listen, you had a good stint in SAC. Did what you did there. That New Orleans team, Boogie.
One of my biggest regrets was going for that dumbass rebound.
Oh, shit.
Man.
I'm gonna just tell you a little story. So I was coming into the league and I saw you and AD in Madison Square Garden. And the team y'all had, because it was you, Drew, you had
Rondo.
E'Twaun Moore.
Yeah, E'Twaun Moore played the 3 for us.
Yes, a sniper. Rondo.
E'Twaun Moore was 6'2", playing.
Yes. It sounded like our team that you had before I got here. No cap. Y'all niggas little as shit, but with 2 big ass bigs. Bro, I saw you and AD. I said, bro, I don't know who the fuck gonna stop them.
Oh, man, that was some of the easiest.
Was that your best basketball in the league?
I think so. That was my best stretch of basketball. And obviously I had years of where I was putting up crazy numbers, but it was getting smacked. Like, and it was always like I had to do those things just to even give us a chance at winning that night. And I was such a competitor. Like, I hate losing more than I like winning.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, I feel you.
And like I'm the guy, I go out there and shit, I damn near die out there if I had to trying to win or give myself a chance to win. So I would put up some crazy numbers in SAC. But in New Orleans, it's the first time where, you know, it was nice. I could just go, I can have my little 18 and 12 and.
But the thing, you got a chance.
80, here you go. Like, you know what I'm saying?
You got a chance.
You got a chance every single night, regardless of who night it is. So not only was it my best stretch of basketball, but it was my first time playing meaningful basketball. So, you know, that team won't always be special.
And the thing was, that was preseason when I saw that. And y'all clicked. It was seamless. And I'm like, what the fuck? What's going through your head that night when that shit happened?
Achilles?
Yeah. I mean, you playing the best. This is your first time playing meaningful basketball.
The first 2 things popped up in my head was, 1, I'm not gonna get a chance to play in the playoffs. This is gonna be my first time being able to play in the playoffs. The second thing was, I just missed out on my money. First 2 things.
Because you was up that year?
That was my contract year. That was my big bag.
You was about to get it. Yeah. Break truck.
Yeah. So yeah, those were my first two and only two thoughts.
Mm-hmm. You was
and the money was actually
everything.
second for me because I wanted to be playoffs was that's all I fucking cared about.
For sure.
Because
you done did 6 years of not being just people don't understand, bro. When you on a team like that, you've been losing that much, and now you get a chance.
Man, I was so excited. And for me, it was, in my years in SAC, like I had some talented teammates, but I never had a chance to play with a superstar.
Mm-hmm.
And ain't no at the time, wasn't no superstar trying to be in Sacramento.
Yeah, for sure.
So once I got traded to New Orleans, like in the moment, I was pissed.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember my agent, rest in peace, Dan Fagan, calling me. He was like, man, if you want me to, veto this trade, just, let me know.
Mm-hmm.
Like we can put the pressure on. And I was like, man, I remember like going home praying like, God, just send a superstar to SAC. Like, just give me
somebody.
Something. I don't care who it is.
Yeah.
Just somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And God will answer your prayers, but it may not be in the way you specifically asked for it.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, I'm gonna give you a superstar, but it's gonna be in New Orleans.
Yeah. Come get some gumbo,
so
my boy.
Right. So I remember, like, I told Dan, I'm like, nah, don't veto it. Cause I'm like, I'm about to go play with Anthony Davis. He was like, but y'all both play the same position. I was like, I don't give a damn. We'll figure that out later.
Exactly.
I'm like, I'm about to play with Anthony Davis. I'm like, I'm going to New Orleans. Like,
Yeah.
it is what I'll figure the rest out later.
Mm-hmm.
And, obviously we all see where Anthony Davis turned it to throughout his career and all those things. But, I mean, I was excited at the opportunity, just one, to play with a talent. Two, it's also a big that's kind of similar to me in ways as far as being able to do more than one thing.
How do you guard it? Y'all was running pick and roll.
And that's exactly what I'm like, can't nobody guard me and him at one time. And at this time, they were already starting to go away from the two big man linebackers.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the power forward was getting smaller and smaller. Like, I'm just like, man, we gonna fuck some teams up. Like especially, and then I was also a fan of Drew Holiday, which I had.
Dog.
Exactly. So.
Dog. That team had a chance, bro.
Had a chance. It definitely had a chance, but it's
how many All-Stars you got?
4.
Was that your first one? No, you had one in SAC?
I had 3 in SAC.
3 in SAC, and then you had...
I got my first All-Star start in New Orleans, the year I blew my Achilles.
Yes.
That's the year AD wore my jersey in the game and things like that.
Got you.
But first time being an All-Star starter, I was excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
That season, I was probably going to be first team All-NBA for the first time.
Cooking.
I had got 2 second team All-NBAs, and I'm like, I'm going to get me one. I'm going to get a first team.
Gotta go get one.
So I think that was the year I was going to get it, but, everything was, cut short that season.
For sure. So we got, after New Orleans, you went to Golden State. Boy, you talk about a good goddamn team. You thought you had a team before that.
Talk about
you went to
easy.
Let me ask you this. I heard a story. Y'all used to go out to warm ups at how much time left on the clock?
Man, it was so bad, bro. Coach, man, Steve used to be like, man, y'all are being disrespectful.
Y'all are getting out of hand.
It was times we going out there with like 6 minutes on the clock.
That's crazy.
Like, Steve like, man, you guys got to show some type of respect.
So for the viewers, usually you go out there with at least 20.
It was bad.
20,
bro.
You 15 pushing it.
It was bad.
They said they used to come out.
It was like 10 on the clock, 8 on the clock. Like, Steve's just like, y'all got to do a better job. And Steve not even, like, he's not even really tripping on the fact that we're going out that late because he knows we showing up.
We're going to do what we
coming out, we going to do our job every night.
Yeah.
It was just the look of it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, this shit getting a little disrespectful. Steph, like, guys, come on, man. Like, it was crazy.
It's insane, bro. Talk about how playing with a team like that is just far, like, you talk about, and we talk about this all the time, good hoops. Just good basketball, bro.
Man, my job was so damn easy. I just remember, you know, it would be situations where I end up in the middle of the floor, like free throw line extended, and
nobody. It's just you and the other player.
Hell no. I'm sitting here trying to make a decision. I got KD, Steph, Clay.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm going to get in trouble if I don't pass the right guy. It's no wrong answer.
Yeah.
But it's also no right answer.
Yeah.
Like
somebody's going to be
like,
open.
Somebody's not going to get, and I'm just like, damn.
Damn.
Who?
Yeah.
Like, somebody just raised, and I remember one specific play, you'll probably be able to find a clip. I ended up catching it in the middle. All three of them started pointing at, like, they all pointed at each other.
Was that what you?
Yeah, I'm like, just somebody catch it.
Everybody pointed at each other.
Everybody
like,
pointing at each other, bro. Like, I'm like, this can't be real. Like,
I'm going to be honest with you, bro. I don't know if there's a better team.
No.
I don't know if there's a better team.
I think it's been a lot of talented teams. I mean, you can bring up those Lakers squads, and obviously even the Kobe and Shaq teams. You got the Magic teams back in the day. You got Celtic teams. Like, I just know our team in the conversation. Healthy, and we didn't even win it.
Yeah,
we didn't win it. But all our starting five healthy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a lot of shooting. It's a lot of shooting. I mean, at the end of the day, my thing was, it's just like, when you got guys doing this and they point at each other and you just pick your poison, come on, bruh.
Damn near about to turn the ball over, because I don't know who to throw it to. Like, I'm going to just turn it over, man.
We got to talk about
too much pressure.
We got to talk about the finals. I mean, y'all motherfuckers still almost damn near found a way. I mean, it was like a trickle effect, though. Let me ask you this. Did y'all know K was coming back the whole time?
Yeah. We saw him working out every day. When he first got the calf strain, you know, it happened. And, you know, he had to sit down for a minute, but, you know, we saw him
working his way back.
Prepping to get back. And, you know, I actually remember having a conversation with K, because that year in Golden State, I was coming off my Achilles.
Yeah. And so he trying to pick your brain.
So K came up, he asked me questions on, like, you know, what felt like what, and, you know, things like that. And I just remember saying, like, K, you know what I'm saying, just take as much time as you can, because you don't want it to turn into something else. And, you know, I'm so sensitive. At the time, I was so sensitive, I didn't even like saying, like, Achilles. Like, I didn't even want to say the fucking word.
Yes, for sure.
But, you know, I remember having that conversation when he was like, I don't know, man, it still feel kind of funny. And I'm like, hey, just take your time with it. Like, take your time. Just, your body gonna let you know when you're ready. And it's unfortunate that, you know, he ended up having to go through that himself. But, I mean, obviously he bounced back. And
yeah. He's still cooking.
Yeah, he's fucking kept.
Yeah, so, no cap.
But I do vividly remember, you know, that conversation.
I mean, at the end of the day, it was crazy, because I remember he came back and everybody, he came back cooking.
He came back like nothing happened.
Like nothing happened. And then I'm sitting there like, fuck, Golden State about to win this bitch again.
No. When he came back, he ended up going to Brooklyn.
No, I'm talking about when he
came back initially from the calf. Yes.
When he came back initially.
Oh, we all thought that. I'm like, oh, it's up. It's up, man.
I got me a ring.
A ring on the way, baby. A ring on the way. It's all good.
And then the motherfucker.
King K is back.
Because y'all still ended up winning that game, didn't you?
I want to say we did. Yeah.
Still end up winning that game, going back, and then fucking Clay.
Yeah, then Clay went down. And
I know you sitting there like, man, fuck.
I'm like, am I next? That's all I was, because I had just came back from the quad.
Yeah.
So I wasn't even supposed, bro, I tore my quad in the first round. Second game, first round. And I'm hot. Because once again, I'm like, I finally make it to the fucking playoffs.
Yeah.
And something happens. Like, so I'm
on the
hot.
team can win it.
Not only am I making the playoff, like we got a chance at winning it. So that was also why I'm like, I'm not missing this opportunity. Like I'm gonna rehab my ass off, and however, short amount of time I got, and I'm gonna just go out here and give it whatever I got. If I die on the court, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Like that was if my leg fall off, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Like, I gave him all.
I gave it what I could.
I'm like, I'm gonna be a part of this. I'm gonna be a part of these playoffs. I'm gonna be a part of this run. Like I want the chance to compete, and I want to help this team win. And that was my mindset. But once I just started seeing the guys go down one by one, and everybody kind of got hit with the injury bug. Kevon Looney had a broken collarbone.
God damn.
Iggy had a strained calf as well. Like it was just bad. It was getting crazy. Bro. So, by the end of it, I'm just like, I just want to make it healthy. I just want to make it out of this healthy. Because this shit is getting scary.
Yeah.
Right? So, eventually I did make it out healthy. And then, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks after that, I tore my ACL. So, yeah.
This is crazy as fuck.
Yeah.
How crazy was Quad that series?
Unreal. I tell this story all the time. It was a specific play, at the top, and it was so much emphasis on, when Kawhi catches, give him no space. Like he needs a crowd as soon as he catches the ball. So I remember this one specific play where he caught it at the top of the key, and I'm there to the point where he goes straight into the jumper.
Yep.
And I'm crowding him so crazy to where he went up for the jumper, he follows through, and our fingers intertwine. I'm like, you can't get a better, like our fingers literally went like this.
Yes, he hit it.
I'm like, what the fuck?
It's a bad man.
It's a bad boy.
That's a bad boy right there.
Bad boy.
You done played with some guys, bro.
I have.
Some famers.
A lot of Hall of Famers.
You done play with some famers. We got to talk about the Olympics, though, before we get out of here, because I know we've been in here for a minute. People sleep on that Rio team.
Yes, sir.
People sleep on the Rio team. And another team is, what was the other one?
There's 14 FIBA, I think.
I say that FIBA team was, because that was D-Rose.
The FIBA team was damn near the Rio team.
Was D-Rose wasn't on that one, on the Rio team, though?
He wasn't on the Rio team. He was on the FIBA team, though.
I think the FIBA team was cold, bro.
Steph was on that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, people forget Steph.
That was before Steph took that step.
That's what he said, though. That's what he said.
I remember it was weird because I remember it was some situations where, and I'm probably gonna get a lot of heat for saying this, but like,
you was there though.
I was like, Steph kind of struggled, like just bringing the ball up to the point where they had to bring Kyrie in to do it.
Yeah.
And like I said, this is before they went on their run. This is before his first championship.
Got you.
Like, so this is like baby. Let's just call it baby Steph. So, James Harden was on that team.
It was James, it was Kai, it was Steph, it was D-Rose, DeMar, it was you. Was AD on that team?
AD was on that team.
AD, Kenneth Faried was balling.
Kenneth Faried was going crazy.
Kenneth
Faried was a star of the team.
That's what I heard. It was crazy. We just did a pod with DeMar. He was like, bro, Kenneth Faried might have been our best player that tournament.
He went absolutely crazy. He might have been the first player in the league to get an NBA contract
From the Olympics.
from FIBA play.
That shit was cooking,
He
man.
went crazy, bro. Like, he might have been averaging about 18 a game, just all dunks.
He was punching everything.
Bro, it was insane.
He was
like,
punching everything.
yeah.
You can think of anything else, huh?
You could ask them the normal questions.
Oh yeah, you definitely know. Better Bron. 2012, 2018.
2012 was with the Heat, right?
The Heat, second year.
Ain't nothing, I don't think any version of Bron is touching that Bron. That's my favorite version of Bron.
I respect that.
The one with that killer in his eyes.
Yeah.
He was mad at the world.
Was that Game 6, Bron? In Boston?
Yeah, that's when his eyes like rolled back.
When he was mad at the world, bro,
That's
the best Bron, I think, my opinion. People may have another version.
I think I
they
switch
enjoy
every
it.
podcast because no cap, I forgot that was Game 6, Bron. You might be right. Because what he did in Boston,
Bro, he was in that whole year. That whole year.
stupid.
He was making a point. He was making a
Harder
point.
to win, NCAA tournament or NBA finals?
NCAA tournament. Because in the NBA, you get 4 chances.
Yeah, I agree.
College, one chance.
You
The
can lose
odds are a lot slimmer.
You can lose to Joe Mazzulla
Exactly.
at the bottom of the
one bad
1P3.
night. There's plenty of teams that were supposed to win in college that
That's
don't.
facts.
And it's because of one bad night.
Yeah.
Or another team's one great night.
Yeah. Does Kawhi Leonard deserve a statue in Toronto?
Hell yeah.
Thank you, bruh.
Hell yeah.
The fuck are we talking about,
They
B?
got one championship.
He would have never got it if the nigga wasn't there.
That's not, I didn't even think that was a question.
Come on, bruh. Give your debate, huh?
I think if you have a statue, if you're outside, there's a lot more that goes into it than just a championship.
Yeah, for most ball clubs, but this is literally the only ball club that represents an entire country.
It's facts.
I think
He brought them boys a championship, bruh.
His jersey is
championship.
retired anyway.
Yeah.
Like, that's a given. He definitely deserves it.
My thing is, the statue means you are remembered forever.
They have one championship in the history of their franchise.
Yeah.
I mean, I think DeMarcus Cousins deserves one before he does.
Just because he gets one don't mean they don't deserve one. But Kawhi Leonard definitely, he gave them their only championship.
Agreed. That's a perfect way to end this motherfucker.
I do want to know,
Oh, yeah,
what
go
was it like reuniting with John for a little bit? You played with John again in Houston, right?
Oh, in Houston?
Oh,
How was
yeah.
that?
Oh, man. It was
a shit
cool.
show.
It was definitely a shit show.
It was a shit show.
It was a shit show. And you know, I told you, I'm that friend that always jokes at the wrong time. So
Yeah.
I got a funny ass story. So you know, John was coming off his Achilles injury.
Yeah, I think he had a little injury before
Yeah, I
that.
think it was his Achilles or something like that.
His foot almost empty. His foot, he said.
Yes.
So John was about to have his first, return, first game back, and John, his people, they celebrated him and all these things, and they, the apartment complex, not apartment, the condo we were staying in, John was one floor above me.
Mm-hmm.
So if he stomped, it was stomping into my condo. So I remember going up to his condo like the day of the game, and at this time COVID was around. So something, it was really, really sensitive. You did this, you couldn't play.
Yeah.
So John was super excited about his first game back. They had this whole little setup in the house with balloons and shit. And I remember, and we ended up getting suspended. Not suspended. We had to sit out first game. So they had this whole little setup. So I remember walking into his condo, and, John sitting on this couch. He's pissed.
Yeah.
So he's just sitting there. He's sad as shit. Nobody in there.
Yeah.
He got all these goddamn balloons and shit. And I remember walking in, I'm like, damn, dog. I'm like, man, I know you mad as a motherfucker, but hey, this shit cool as shit. He like, bro, get the fuck out, man. Like, I ain't trying to hear this shit. I'm like, why you mad at me, bro? I said, these some nice ass balloons and shit. They're like, man, hey, be happy about the balloons.
Yeah, this
like,
shit cool as
This
fuck.
shit nice as shit. He like, bug, like, not today, bro. Just get out. Like, I ain't going nowhere, man. Fuck wrong with you, dog?
Once again, back to college. Fuck that crying shit.
I
man.
ain't crying and shit. You know, I ain't crying, bro. Nah, he was hot at me. Like, bro, you play too much. You always playing.
That's hilarious,
I think I ended
bro.
up taking a picture. I might still have that picture.
You gotta
But
see this shit, bro.
He's sitting there with the fucking balloons. He's just sitting there like this. Like, dude, I'm sick of your shit, man.
That's fucking hilarious, bro.
If I can find that picture, I'm gonna post it one day.
That shit's
He gonna
hilarious, bro.
Put it in my story. He gonna
You
be
got
mad
to.
as
He
shit.
gonna be mad as
mad
fuck.
as shit. Oh, he's fucking playing.
Nah, man, I appreciate you getting on. That's one hell of a story, one hell of a journey.
I appreciate it, man.
You have had one hell of a career still going. Shit, we trying to do some things out here. Uphill battle. We're gonna see what we can
Yes,
do.
sir.
Yeah, but I appreciate you getting on, man. It's been awesome, and
Absolutely, brother.
can't say nothing but great things about you. DraftKings, we appreciate you. And that's another episode of Rain Race with your boy. We out. Peace.
Boom.